on, Bay YouTube? It is Charles, and today I want to talk about Don't Forget Your Briefcase number 3 from Mad Cave Comics. And I just want to say that this is a series that hits the gas pedal and does not let up. A very, very fun espionage story with a lot of moving parts, twists, and turns that I just didn't see coming personally. Just to give you a brief rundown of what's happened in the first 2 issues, we meet a single mother raising a son by herself after her husband has recently passed. The son dealing with the trauma of losing his father by carrying his briefcase to school. He's getting picked on about the briefcase. He gets in a fight at school, gets sent home, so he has to go to work with his mother, who we find out works in the White House as the communication director. So this day where she has to take her son to work is the day that the new president is being inaugurated, and he ends up getting assassinated right in front of the young man. And this is where the things get complicated, because on the other end of this story, we're introduced to a Marine who is being recently assigned to the nuclear football, which is a briefcase that carries the codes. And in the confusion of the assassination, the boy who had his briefcase with him accidentally gets a hold of the nuclear football as they rush out of the White House. And so, yeah, very, very interesting stuff. And at the end of that first issue, we find out through a very clever reveal that the mother, the White House communication director, is actually a Russian asset who has accidentally gotten a hold of the nuclear football. And her son does not know that she is a Russian asset, or that he accidentally had the nuclear football. So she calls her handler. That's the end of number 1. Number 2, the Marine is sent to find the briefcase because they think it's a simple misunderstanding. When she gets to the home, the Russian handler is there, and the Russian, you get the mother and the Marine and the Russian handler all on the spot, and so the mother says that that is her husband to the Marine, and just as she introduces the Russian handler as her husband, her young son walks in and says, "That's my father," and he is confused because he is clearly at least part, if not all, black. And so before anybody can explain or catch their breath, he runs off. And that is where this issue starts, is him thinking that he's been lied to, that he's adopted. We have the Russian handler here not knowing what to do. The mother and the Marine sent to retrieve the briefcase, confused. And in all of this craziness, he runs out and hops in his car and drives away with all kinds of craziness to ensue, of the Marine working with the mother and the Russian asset and the Russian handler. And throughout this issue, we also find that Russia wasn't behind the attack, but who is. And we meet the vice president, who, upon delivering her address, this is just my supposition, just my opinion, I think that she is an untrustworthy character. There was nothing overt about it, but the way that she handled the press briefing and her demeanor throughout the comic book, it may be a red herring, or it may be something more to it, but I love comics, though, that make you think, and that make you wonder, and that create this sense of intrigue that gets the mind working. That's a very, very understated positive effect of comic books. Just a little personal story. In 2020, I caught COVID real early, and it hit me very bad. So on top of me being disabled at the time and dealing with diabetes and other issues, I had to deal with rehabilitation from getting COVID-19. And part of the lingering side effects for me were cognitive issues. I couldn't retain information. I could not focus. I couldn't even sit up in a chair without a back. without getting dizzy. And comic books, the more I read, the more my focus and cognition improved and developed. And when you get a comic book like this with so many threads, it really gets the synapses firing in the brain. And I am not a physician, but I know that the more that you exercise a muscle, the more it grows. And so comic books, especially comic books like this, that are so multifaceted, really improves cognitive function. So that's yet another reason I love comic books. Well, you have so many threads here around a misunderstanding about a briefcase. Every book ends with a new twist, a new cliffhanger that is both shocking yet makes the absolute sense by the end of it. The art is fun and it keeps the action moving. So check it out at your local comic book store. If you do not have a local comic book store, check out my friend Jeff at coffeeandacomic.com or go to midtowncomics.com. With Jeff, you're going to get great prices, very fast and secure shipping. With Midtown, you're going to get a wider variety. So, either choice is a great way to get your books, but get these books. Check out Don't Forget Your Briefcase. We're at number 4 right now from Mad Cave Comics. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. And I will most likely be doing a review of number 4 because every issue has been stellar. So I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. I'm out.